Hey, Carey.
Hello, Danielle.
New question. What should we do if our marketing automation stack is a mess? And I guess, why do you think we should bring this up now?
I think it's the type of question that the best time to do it was yesterday, and the second best time to do it is today. But the biggest pressing issue for all of us is that we are going to be under pressure soon to add AI to our tech stack in some way if we haven't already. So, knowing that AI is going to be working on information in our systems, what we want to make sure is our systems have as clean of infrastructure as we can and as clean of data as we can. And so now is the perfect time to start getting into your system and making sure you understand it, making sure it's well documented, and hopefully making sure it's clean.
So fun.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
what do you think the different problems we might encounter in the infrastructure could be?
I mean, I think there's probably a variety of problems, and they're probably not mutually exclusive. But I think that the first thing that we would deal with is we even talk about it called like atrophy or tech atrophy. So this would be something that is currently attached to your system or a part of your system, but it's no longer working. And so this is really easy to have happen without you noticing. Um, I'll use an example that's going on right now, or I have a client where we have a field on a form. It's a required field. It's using the standard industry form. And we went to add a data value to that field and went to the Salesforce admin and said, "Hey, we need this pick list value added." And they said, "Oh, that's not the industry field we're using anymore. They're using a custom industry field." So right now, that's an example, a small one, of tech atrophy, that we have a field in use actively on our forms that no one in Salesforce is using or seeing. Your phone rang. Keeps it
I know.
authentic. Okay. But do you have any examples of that? I mean, I think this is
I
something
do.
common.
I laugh about it because I think I like to bring analogies.
Hmm.
So, my analogy for this is an iPhone.
That just
So a lot
rang.
of us are using iPhones. So let's say you got an iPhone 8. So that was before the button was removed, right?
Hmm.
Are you still on that iPhone 8? Probably not. And there's probably many reasons why you eventually abandoned that phone. It could be that you completely lost all the storage, or the battery wouldn't hold a charge, period. Or, you cracked your screen so bad it was worth it just to upgrade at this point. There's many reasons why we leave our old technology behind. And there's a lot of reasons why, especially I think in the iPhone scenario, where if you're getting updates on your iOS, it's eating into your memory. So slowly, as you keep getting the updates to the latest and greatest of the operating system, you have less and less to work with in order for the system to actually operate. So at some point, it's completely overwhelmed and it's not operating in an efficient way. And it's time to evaluate getting a new phone. Same thing could be happening with your marketing automation tool. If it's a Marketo or it's a HubSpot, at some point 10 years ago, you might have set it up in a certain way with certain campaigns firing and certain forms created in a certain way and fields that maybe now your Salesforce team has now archived or no longer using. All of a sudden, you have all of this stuff. And to try and actually go in and triage it and cut it back, it's overwhelming. So there might be a question of, is it time to replace? So I think that's another one. I think there might be other ones. What else do you think?
Yeah. Well, when you say that, what it makes me think is our iPhones are probably they're very complicated, but they're a simple metaphor. But they themselves are like a hub of an ecosystem that we all have. We all have plugs that we use for them. We have our car plugs that we use for them, our travel plugs. We have a case for it. It probably hooks into some sort of like headphones or speaker. The iPhone 8 had a headphone jack. The new iPhones for a while haven't. And the laptops still do, which really bugs me that the laptop has a headphone jack. Um, but that's a different topic for a different day. I think that the truth is, it is a lot easier to replace something like an iPhone, obviously, than Marketo, but it does give you a really good parallel to understand how integral these systems are and how important it is that they're running smoothly. So I think like when I think of that, we talked about like atrophy, something kind of dying on the vine. But I also think of something like rust. Like this is a good example of your car. Your car's running well, everything is great, but there's some part of it that's rusting, and eventually that's going to cause a problem. within Marketo or HubSpot or your CRM, you can have tools that are like that. So I would use the example of something like RCM is probably a rusty tool for many of us now that, 8 years ago, it's really important to get your revenue cycle model set up. And depending on how you had it set up, there might still be things going on in that system that are firing, changing data values. It might be still working and changing the data values the right way, but it might be the most cumbersome way to do it. And so you really do want to understand like what system processes are running on a daily basis or nightly basis or triggered that might be slowing down the system or might become problematic if you add something else on.
I think there's just one other very important one that we need to be aware of, and if the system is just broken.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we find out about broken things through potentially complaints from executives about not receiving their confirmation for attending an event, or we find out from a complaint because somebody tried to unsubscribe and cannot successfully unsubscribe.
Right.
Unfortunately, those things happen, and we are then spending a lot of time figuring out what went wrong, why did it go wrong, what needs to be changed or fixed. And I'm going to say this also really requires us to have good documentation.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Documentation is two things. Number one, it's the unsung hero. When you're trying to figure out what's going on, hopefully you have something documented. It's really important for helping people, but it's also a little bit of a bellwether in that if what you're trying to accomplish is super hard to document, maybe you should rethink what you're doing to accomplish the goal, because this will become very important with AI. If your system is so layered and so complex and you have so many exceptions to the rules, or you have so many, I've seen so many smart campaigns that are designed to fix a redundancy somewhere or something else, and we take them for granted. But now imagine you're bringing in a new tool like AI, and you're going to have to engineer it and give it prompts to be able to do things on an automated basis. If you can't document it to tell a coworker about it, how are you going to create the right context to engineer AI to use that data or that infrastructure effectively? So like right there, if you can't document something well, it probably needs to be reconsidered.
Absolutely. So I think that's a good coverage on why your system might be broken.
Yeah, let's stop there and we can talk another time about what tools people have in their arsenal to kind of look at this.
Sounds good.
Take care. Bye, Danielle.
Bye.